I don't think I can adequately express how excited I was for the return of Love After Lockup Season 4. It is my favorite ever. I love Love After Lockup. It is quickly moved right into first place, slightly ahead of 90 Day Fiancé, and I'm so thrilled that we have a whole new cast to look through, go over. Hello, welcome to another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about Love After Lockup Season 4. Season 4. It took me forever to figure out how many seasons there were because, Love After Lockup just has season 101A. They label all the seasons and episodes weird. So here we are, season 4 of my favorite show of all time. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for all new videos and including this whole season of Love After Lockup. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I post all new videos and recaps. Let's get started. First of this season, we have Courtney and Josh. So Courtney is this 30-year-old boingy, redheaded correctional officer who, like a lot of people, met the love of her life in the workplace. Except her workplace was a prison and she met a prisoner, Josh, who was deep in thought, and while she was tossing his cell, came across some of his poetry and found it to be quite moving. The two of them really hit it off and started dating in secret. She would visit Josh for about 8 weeks, wearing different wigs and disguises so that her coworkers wouldn't know that it was her visiting her prison boyfriend. However, she was caught, and although she thought it was frowned upon to date inmates, it turned out that it's actually illegal, and she ended up spending 2 months in jail. Wow. So Josh felt really dedicated. He went ahead and tattooed Courtney's face, a portrait of her face on his forearm with a "Will you marry me" proposal. There was no question mark. I think it was a question. Seemed like more of a statement. And the tattoo kind of looked like Rachel Ray, but that's okay. If things don't work out with Courtney, he can always just hold up that old tattoo to Rachel Ray and his life would move in a different direction. Courtney went to Josh's parole officer to see if he would be able to parole to her house, their joint married house, because they got married by proxy, which means neither one of them were actually at their wedding. They just had people go on their behalf and stand in for them and get married for them. I'm wondering if they have a whole wedding album with pictures of other people that are not them that says Courtney and Josh forever on the front of it. Not really sure. Courtney's already trying to work on a way to get Josh to be able to live with her, whether, she has to sneak around or not. In the meantime, it's time for his release day, but she's not allowed on the prison property, so she has to have her friend come to pick Josh up while she waits in a parking lot in, get this, a pickle costume. A pickle costume. Apparently, she and Josh, they have an inside joke about pickles, and while all these other girls on Love After Lockup are worried about their hair and their nails and their tight dresses, Courtney chose to wear a pickle costume to go meet the man of her dreams. Can't wait for next week until the two of them reunite. It'll be a really big deal. Dad joke. Father's Day. Then we got to meet Rachel, who is a little 4'10" brunette girl, seemingly normal by all standards. She's an ex-Marine. She seems to have her life together, except for the fact that she really likes to date inmates. So Rachel is on inmate boyfriend number 3, Doug, who she refers to as Dougie Bear. Though Dougie Bear isn't really a Marine, he's kind of somewhat of a drill sergeant as he likes to bark orders at Rachel. For some reason, she likes to listen to them. They plan on getting married, and Doug has already moved his young son, Dougie Jr., into Rachel's house where she's acting like the stepmother. I guess the original mother is on drugs or has an issue. So Rachel has taken the role of mother for this 12, I think he's about 12 years old. Rachel had the house stocked for everything that Dougie Bear would need when he came to the house, which was the 4 B's. Boobies, bologna, about 9 pounds of it in the refrigerator, non-alcoholic boobs, and jobs. Bologna jobs. So anyway, she had everything ready to go. Her friends came over to help her further prepare. She had to adjust all her mirrors from, being able to see herself in them for being 4'10" to Doug's height, which is 6'5". So she's also kind of concerned about the logistics of their love life, being that they have such a discrepancy in their height. Like how I said that? That was the most roundabout way I could say that. Anyway, so Dougie had a little phone call while the friends were at the house, helping her get ready. And he was really mean and just kind of barking orders and telling her that she can't let his son walk all over her and she needs to be stricter with him. And who's in charge? Dougie's in charge. Okay. Can't wait to see how this goes. I mean, she is a Marine. Maybe she's good at taking orders, but I don't know who would want to be yelled at by some guy in jail. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm really excited to see it go down. I think this is going to be the biggest train wreck of the whole season. I think Doug is going to turn out to be the biggest jerk in the entire series, and I can't wait for all of it to happen. Another Marine this season, or ex-Marine, we had Nicole and Deontay. I think it's Deontay or Deontay, not sure. So I'm going to call him Deontay. So Deontay, he's 33. He just wants to be married, have kids, have a normal life. He's seemingly got his life together. He has a decent job, but he can't stop dating inmates. This is his second inmate relationship, and he's dating Nicole with 2 L's, who is incarcerated for burglary, I believe, and he's making sure that her homecoming is going to be absolutely perfect with anything she's ever wanted. So he goes to the liquor store. He's stocked up on all kinds of wine that she might like. He had his bed spread out with, presents, AirPods. He had cash. He had everything she could ever want and need ready for when she comes home from jail. He also showed a little something because he wanted to stay faithful to Nicole while he was in prison, but he kind of fancies himself a sexual person. So Deontay went out and got himself this torso-shaped rubber sex toy that he, I guess, makes love to. Let's put it that way. So after, demonstrating, showing it to us, he went ahead and threw it in the dishwasher. I guess it's dishwasher safe, maybe top rack only, hopefully BPA free. And he threw it in there. And I personally will now never eat at somebody's house off of their dishes. Kind of traumatized for life here. Anyway, Deontay's friends all think she's taking advantage of him, especially his mother and his 16-year-old brother, wise beyond his years, who say that Deontay is making a huge mistake letting this girl take him for all that he's worth, like he did in his previous relationship. But he just explains that he's a sucker for blonde hair and big boobs, and I can't wait to see what a nightmare this is going to be when Nicole actually gets out of jail. Brittany and Ray are a new couple this season. Compared to all of the other train wrecks, they were actually kind of low key. So we'll have to see where they go from here. They kind of remind me of season 1. So Brittany is just a nice girl raised in a nice family, and she happens to like bad boys. She fell in love with an inmate online named Ray, and they're just going to meet during his release. And there's really not much more to that story, except for she had previously been in an abusive relationship, and her family is very hard on whoever she's dating. So I guess the big scandal will be, let's see if they accept him when he comes out and if he's actually going to be a good guy. Comparatively, this is now normal and nothing. Last but not least, we had Stanley and Lisa. So Stanley, which is also my dog's name, so it made it very funny for me personally to keep talking about Stanley. Stanley is this kind of funny older man with this ridiculous toupee. The sides are gray, the top is really black. He had lost his wife. He started playing the field, dating, and then he just really wanted somebody to kind of settle down with. And he met this woman on Seeking Arrangements, doesn't sound shady at all, named Lisa, a pretty blonde in her 40s. So Stanley went ahead and went on a date with Lisa. It was a wham bam, thank you, Stan kind of situation as they slept together, and then he never heard from her again. Turns out Lisa was in jail for selling drugs. So Stanley was sitting around the batting cages in this episode with his old man friends, and they were all chit-chatting about how they think that, Lisa is probably using him as a sugar daddy because Stanley is worth apparently $2.3 million. I'm having a little bit of a Scott flashback from last season, so we're going to see where this whole thing goes. My prediction is that Stanley is going to break away from this cute, old, rich, lonely guy character and turn into a total creep. But let's just see what ends up happening. Also, I am never letting my dog Stanley on a prison dating site. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Erica Schmerica Reality Recaps. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to get notified about all my new videos that I'll be posting. Bye!